And welcome to How Hard Can It Be? I'm Phil Murphy. That is John behind the camera. Say hello, Johnny Boy.
Hello!
And that, of course, is a Nauticus 27 foot. And guess what? It's rather light. And you know why it's light? It's because it's got a lump out of it and it's over there. And what an episode that was. Very memorable. So, this episode, we have to play the music, of course. We do. But this episode, we're going to deal with some cat litter. Yes. We don't have animals, and it's not Noah's Ark, where we're going to collect some animals, etc. No, it's all about cleaning. But of course, before we all do that, we're going to do some music, and then we're going to get on with some cleaning. So play the music, John. Welcome. Fingers crossed this is going to work. Now, slightly different format with this next clip, or two or three. John's not around at the moment, which means that the producer and the professionalism that he does has sort of not come with me. So, I'm the cameraman as well. Yes. Which has its benefits, because I'm doing it. The downside is that there might be a lot of shakiness, jiggery pokeriness and all that palaver, because I'm dealing with that and dealing with the talking aspect of it as well. Anyway, as you know, we're using some cat litter, and since we opened the clip, what I've done is I've put this stuff down and I've replaced it and replaced it and replaced it, and this last lot that I've put down has been down for probably over a week, and it's still drawing out of the fiberglass, the oils and all the stains and etc. It's drawing it all out still from soaked areas where the engine was. You will see in a second. You will see that it's all quite patchy, so I've got to clean it all up, but I thought I'd show you the mess that it is at the moment, although it's a lot better than it was. So I can't use the tripod because I've tried to click it on and I can't get it to work, so it's going to be handled rather a lot, this camera. Anyway, let's get on with this particular bit. So I'm going to show you this lot, and I'm then going to clean it all up, and then I'll show you the after part. So let me get hold of this camera, move that around, there we go. So as you can see, even now it's soaking up quite a lot of oil after a week. It's still soaking out of this area here especially. This was obviously a dam for all the oil that was in that area, so it's still coming out. I've actually sprinkled it on the two areas where the engine is held, which is these two large pieces of wood, to hope to draw out, because I'd like to get those painted, which is what we're going to be doing hopefully in this episode once the paint dries. And as you can see down there, it's all the way along there, etc. And on this side here, there. So where I'm actually stood, I can move backwards without press standby. There we go. There you go, so you can actually see what I'm going to clean up there. So that's what I'm going to do. I shall clean that up and I will be back very, very shortly. Bye for now. There we go. so as you can see, I've just taken off the this section here, and as you can see, we're starting to get quite a lot of the gunge that is attached to the hull. It seems to be coming up quite well. Now, I've been thinking, I mean, it was discussed, my dad suggested that there, I should remove that and replace it, and looking at the amount of oil that it seems to have absorbed over the years, because as you can see, I'm sure that's come from that piece of wood. I'm inclined to agree with him that perhaps that, providing it's not structural in any way, which I'll have a look at, I should remove that and replace it with a fresh piece of wood. So I'll clean this section up here and carry on with those, and I will show you my findings after we've cleaned that up. So there we go. I shall do that right now. There we go. So all cleaned up as best we can, as you can see down there, down this area here. Down in there. And of course round there. So I think the next job really is to start taking this piece out here, retaining it the shape as best we can so we can use it as a template, because we've got that one there which used to fit of course across here, and we've got, turn around, we've got this one here that needs to come out. We can take that out and use that as a template. So I think that's the next stage I need to do. So I shall start removing that, and then hopefully we can give it another clean over with some white spirit, and try and get it looking as clean as possibly say that. And then we can think about putting the new sections in, fiberglassing those in, and of course then we can get on with painting it, and then it'll look totally different again. So I shall start getting these out here. So stay tuned and I will be back. Just a quick update. I think it was definitely the right move to extract these sides here, and now I'm 100% sure that's got to come out, because I'm peeling back, where is it? There it is. I don't know whether it's possible to actually focus on there, but that is absolutely soaked with engine oil. So with the best will in the world, it was never going to be totally clean, and actually nothing would stick to it either. So I'm very pleased that we found that out. So I shall carry on and get that down to well, get it as flat as possible, ready for some new ply. So I shall carry on. Right, okay, so we've taken those off now. I've taken that section off there. There was quite a lot of oil there, so I've chopped it all the way back. I've sprinkled some more cat litter there to soak overnight. It's getting dark now, but that's the piece that actually came, that I cut away, and as you can see, if the camera would focus, as you can see, it's extremely soaked in oil. So I'm glad that we took that out. So we shall use all these pieces for templates, and tomorrow when I come back, there's one of course, there's another, and there's another, when I come back I shall start cutting out. So yeah, so I'm very pleased with the progress that we made. We can give it a good cleaning out, and then hopefully we'll be able to next week get some paint on it. So I shall see you tomorrow, or in a nanosecond as the case may be. Is that recording? Yes, marvellous. Right, so I've cleaned up as best I can all that area, and I've used a grinder just to grind off the old fiberglass, which you can see that's actually on here. That obviously it's on the base of the boat. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, you'll have to excuse, I'm covered from head to toe in splashed oils. I look like a right mess, but I'm going to cut these templates out. I'm going to get a fresh piece of ply, and I'm going to chop those out and then offer the one side of the boat and see how it looks. So that's what I'm going to do now, and I will show you shortly. Because John's not around, he's had an operation and he's on the mend. Everything's cool with him, but I thought, well, while he's incapacitated, I thought I'll give it a go, and I'll just do a bit. So it's not going to be of quality standard that we're all used to, but we'll just see how we go. So I'm going to cut this out, and then I'll take you aboard and I'll show you what I've got to do. And obviously I'm going to have to adjust it, but we'll see how we go. So that's the next job. So I'll crack on, and I will see you shortly. Right guys, so we're back on board, and as you can see I've just roughly fit that into place. As you can see, it's just slightly proud of this main beam here. Now these beams are the correct height for the fiberglass tub that sits on top of it. So that one together with that one are still the original height, and that's what I've got to go off, to be honest. As you can see, this is the piece that is still fiberglassed to the hull. So that's the height that I need to go off. That one there, I've just put that as a temporary measure because it was cut off from there. I don't know why, but I need to lift that up to this height here. So that's going to be the next thing I think I need to do, is to make good that area, because ultimately that then will sit on top of that and it will be supported. So that's the first one done. Well, I'm saying done, it is. It just needs to be fiberglassed into place. I think what I might do is I might treat it first, then fiberglass it into place. But I need to do this bit next to make sure that I get that level and that level correct, because the tub, as I've just said to you, fits overall across there. But as you can see, I've sanded off. I've sanded off down there, across there, and there. I'm debating, you know, whether to leave that free, because I'm thinking I might put a tray underneath the engine, so if and when oil needs to be changed in it, you could pull the tray out, and if it's got any drips and whatnot, it doesn't go into the boat, it goes into a tray. So I'm thinking to eliminate having a piece there, or maybe even put an angle there and an angle there, and then have a piece of wood that slots into place over there, just to tidy it up. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but we need ventilation, of course, because we don't want it to overheat. So that's the next job, I think, is to lift that up and get it equal with that, and then that side is roughly finished, and then we need to move on to this side. So that's what I'm going to do, guys, so bear with me. Right guys, so there you go, we've cut the other one out, and basically I've decided I'm going to paint them while they're off the boat, and then they can be installed and fiberglassed in the next bit of this current video. So that's the paint I'm using. Always have liked international paints. and that's the one I'm using. It's ideal for the hull of the boat and the sides of the boat on the inside, so that's what I'm using. It was about £68 UK pounds as from last week, so there we go. So I've just got to allow that to dry. I can flip it over and then I will paint the other side tomorrow. So we're losing light now, so basically I'll call it a night and I'll see you guys in the morning. Morning everybody. So this is dry. It's had its first coat, as you know the paint because I showed it you yesterday. There and there, that's the mirror image of that one. Ironically, you know, when I cut the first one out, I tried it in reverse on the other side and it fit perfectly. Now you probably say, but of course it is, because it's a V-shaped hull, it's bound to mirror image. But to be honest, not much stuff mirrors on from one side to another. I don't know why, maybe it's the 70s, I haven't got a clue. But anyway, that's what I did. I just mirror imaged both sides. So there we go, they are virtually identical. So I decided, of course, that we would paint it, because once it's painted we can fiberglass it and we don't have to bother about it. So that has dried nicely. So we're just going to whop a bit of paint on, allow that to dry, because I think now that we've entered winter here in this country, it's going to take the majority of the day if if I take it outside it might dry quicker, but it's going to take the majority of the day, so I'm going to need to paint up there. And I must, before I carry on, I must welcome back somebody, because it's on a tripod, and that only means one thing. He's back.
In one piece.
In one piece.
Well, two pieces actually, but we don't discuss the other piece.
Yes, exactly. So it means that there's a little bit of professionalism come back, and you can see my face, because all they've been seeing, John, well, you'll edit it, you'll see how lovely it's been.
Fantastic. Look forward to it.
Yes, I'm sure you will. There'll be a lot of this, moving it around and going like this, and
Oh God.
yeah. Anyway, I'm sure we're going to be creative on this episode. Take some sickness tablets, people. I must warn you for that.
Motion tablets.
Motion tablets, yeah. Right, let's get some paint on this. And then we'll go up there. I'll do a bit of cleaning, and then we'll start painting up there, because it's ready for paint now. And then it'll start to look like a blank canvas.
Have you told them what this stuff is?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yes, they've seen the can. I think I zoomed in right, but I can't be so sure, so why don't you zoom in? It's international, as I said. I always use international. I like it. There's no reason to change for any reason. Goes on well. Does what it says on the tin. I could use a roller, but I'm using these cheap paint brushes, because these pieces of wood are never going to be seen really, because the fiberglass tub's going to be over the top of everything anyway, so it doesn't have to look pretty. And I think, John, because I don't think it's going to rain today, I've checked, I think I'll wheel this outside.
It's warmer out there than it is in here.
Yeah, you're right, absolutely. Right, that'll do for that. So, what I'll do is I'll do that, rather than him freezing to death and you staring at me painting, because I'm not going to get as many views as I did with painting the side of the hull, with this, doing this. So I'll paint that and I'll see you aboard very shortly. I'm coming to the end, I think, because I decided 2 trays ago that I was coming to the end, and I thought this is the third one. I'm going to call it a day, because even though I've got a mask on, it is extremely potent stuff, and I think I'm getting as high as a kite. So with that said, I think if I just finish this bit down here, and then you can have a look, John.
Yep.
With the camera. Just finish off down that bit there, because there's a bit of paint left in this tray. But it's had 2 coats. It's gone on really well. Its coverage is good. It's actually performed better than it did on the wood that we did down in the down there. But of course this is meant to be for either a metal boat, an aluminium boat, steel boat, wood boat, or a fiberglass boat. And I think it says on the tin that it will stay glossy, so that'll be good. You'll also note that I haven't painted those because there's still a bit of work to be done on those. So I'm just going to call that a day for that.
Oh, the wooden engine supports.
Yeah, those there. There's still work to be done. So I'm not going to paint those. But I painted the faces because the wood, you'll see tomorrow when we start fiberglassing, people. That's the reason for doing this, because across there, well, as I discussed, and John doesn't know this, but as we discussed yesterday, I think it was, I don't know whether I want to put a piece there, because if I put a tray there, then it defeats the object of having a sort of a piece there to stop any oil transgressing through to this area. So, and I think it would be easier for servicing and things like that if we didn't have anything there. So I have made those pieces that are downstairs to go halfway along there and there. I suppose I could make a piece of wood to slot down and I could pull it out, but then of course you've got the fiberglass tub. I've just thought about that, so we will see with that one. But it's looking alright, isn't it? It's certainly looking a lot cleaner than it did.
Ship shape.
Ship shape, indeed, yes. So we're going to let that dry. We'll go home and come back tomorrow, and hopefully it'll be nice and dry and it can be walked on, and then we can crack on and maybe get these fiberglass in, and then it'll start looking like a boat again at the back. I have thought, Johnny boy,
Yep.
that we're going to have to, before we start making good inside here, we're going to have to put the rubbing straights on.
Right. Of course.
You know, the back, the 2 sides, yeah. So we're going to have to start thinking about that. So that's probably going to be an episode very, very shortly. So we'll see you tomorrow morning, hopefully, subject to John arriving at a particular time. And we shall continue this episode, and then we will call it a day after we've fiberglassed it in. So until then, have a good evening, won't you? See you later. And a good morning to you if you are in the morning when you're watching this, so it could be afternoon or evening. Whatever it is, we have a slight issue, and that is, overnight, I assumed like this, it would be dry, but it isn't. So, we can't fiberglass these items in today. We're going to have to leave them. And if we're going to have to leave them, I'm now going to have to leave them for at least a few days, because from tomorrow I've got other stuff to do. So next week I might be able to get them fiberglassed in, of which time you won't be able to see that because our paths won't cross. But nevertheless, they will be in by the time we open a new episode. And by the way, that should be probably early December, because as we're running up to Christmas, John's got stuff to do and I've got stuff to do. So it will be, we will try our damnedest to get a new episode in just before Christmas, and then we'll have the break, and then we will see you in January. But anyway, let's crack on with the work that we've got to do. At least I can establish what they're going to look like, and I can do a little fix and show you what we've done up to now. So this one with the face being the nicest this side, I know that that goes on this side. So basically that will get fiberglassed into position there, and then I can put some retaining screws into there as well, and then that holds that into position, which is what we want. I can take this temporary stand away, and then we can line everything up and get it level. So that's one, and then this one I can get over here. Now I've got, as you can see, where the water comes into the boat there and goes into the engine and circulates and then spits out over there in the exhaust. This juts up slightly, so I just need to cut a little bit there to allow it to go tight up to that area there. So I'm just going to cut that up now, and I might need to trim a little bit off here and a little bit off here so it sits up proud like that. So that's what I'm going to do now. All the sides of the boats, by the way, is all nice and dry, but as you get close to where the oil has been sat for so long, it's obviously, no matter how much I've tried to clean it, it still is a bit oily, and it's obviously going to take a long time for it to actually adhere. It might never adhere, but you know, we're going to have to wait and see. I'll just put that down there for a second. We'll have the sawdust in this end to get it on our tacky paint, do we? Right. There we go, that's it. Perfect. Right.
We're back to shaky camera here. I think you're behind here as well. Again.
Well, there you go. The subscriber can tell between the two then. They can decide for themselves, can't they? Right, there we go. I think that's good. That's just about holding that into, that's holding that perfect. That's actually perfect there. Obviously these need touching up. But you can see where I'm going with the fiberglassing now. We can fiberglass against the sides and down. These are tacky down here and here, so we can't do that yet, but I can screw that into position before we fiberglass. But that'll be, I think, done while you won't see it, because I'll do it when I get a chance to do it, and then that's it. So I think, judging by the amount of minutes that I've videoed and you videoed, I think we'll call that a day. What do you think?
Yeah.
Because I can't do very much really, apart from fiddly jobs that we don't need you to see, because it's just tightening this and putting a wire here and putting a wire there. So
Well, they don't want to see it.
they don't want to see it now, of course they don't. Right, so thank you very much for watching. Thank you for persevering with this video. It was slightly different than normal, but please like and subscribe, and remember, if you have a boat, please just send the pictures through. It would be great, we would love it. And what is that email?
Nauticus 27foot@mail.com.
There you go. So, thank you. We'll see you in the next one, which will be about 3 to 4 weeks, is it?
Early December. Yeah.
Early December. See you then. Bye. For now.
Adios.
Bye.